Oh my goodness. So $50,000. It's insane. On Friday, the portfolio was at $295,000. And after hours right now, we're at $346,000. $346,029.68. So a $51,000 one-day move. Absolutely insane. It's let's get straight into it. Rocket had an incredible day. Thanks to Rocket Lab went up by 30% today. They were at $25 on the 17th. $24 from 24 to 31. A $7 move. So let's look at what it did to the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA shot up by $15,000, almost $16,000 today. It went up by 27.5% by holding so many shares of Rocket Lab. Year to date, it's up 20% now. It went from being negative 4% on the 17th. Now we're up 20%. And all time, we're up 180%, going back to December 11th of 2023. This should be in the 300% range, but Robinhood recalculated the all-time returns once I consolidated the accounts. I am a little salty about that. Buying power is $20. And here, I did start selling covered calls on Rocket Lab when it had shot up 10%. So shortly after market open, Rocket Lab was like around here. Actually, before the 27, it was like at 20, maybe 26.50 when it was already up 10%. And I said, you know what? I think I'll start selling some $33 calls for next week. And they immediately went against me. I sold it. I got 15 cents for it. So let's just go from here. I was down 423% immediately. So I did look like an idiot at this point. At 9:55, it was bad. But Rocket Lab kind of like hung around in the 30s, 31. And because it's still below the strike, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to sit here and start closing it at a loss. I used to do that too, believe it or not. I used to just close the contract when they went against me at a loss when I still had so much time on my side. But those are the lessons that I kind of learned over time for myself. And here are the AMD calls. They're down currently 21%. And we're up 85% on the shares. So Rocket Lab shares, our current cost in this portfolio is $16.78 a share. And we have 2,225 shares on this account. Or about 70,000. Yeah, about 69,000 in shares. Okay, let's check out the big account. Big account was up by 14% or $33,000. Year to date, now we're up 10%. Now we're in the green. In the 1 year, we're up 424% in the past year. All time, we're up 238%, going back to August 2nd of 2021. Buying power has shot up to $243,000. And that is because I took advantage of today's move to close out the Rocket Lab cashiered puts. And once these load up, kind of a come on, Robinhood. Okay, we'll try again. We'll try another way. Here we go. Nope. Here it is. So here are the puts. Those puts that I had on Friday. They were going to expire this Friday, but I was already up at 91%. I could have let them. I could have stuck with them. But if I see 90+% and with a couple days to go, I'm going to take that money and run every single day of the week. Even if there's a high chance I could just close it out and let it expire worthless, there's always a chance that Rocket Lab can pump up and it could go right back down to the high 20s. And if it did happen, then I could just sell $26 puts or $27 puts and reload on cash secured puts after have taken profit. But if I don't, I'm just kind of writing this up and down and letting these, this is $5,000, $5,000 that went straight into account. So I don't want to just be going up and down the roller coaster without taking profits. And one thing that I did as well, that I did for the first time in a very, very long time, is that I bought puts. I bought puts on Rocket Lab, but I didn't buy it because I'm rooting for the stock to go down. I really did buy these more as an insurance, as a hedge, because I have such a concentrated position in Rocket Lab in this account. It's in the total account, it's like 60% of the portfolio now, or more. Not sure, but my portfolio is so exposed to Rocket Lab that any move to the downside on Rocket Lab means that the portfolio is going to be hit really, really hard. So I'm going to take this more as an insurance. If Rocket Lab does go down and these puts go up in value, I'm going to see if it starts hitting the $26, $25, $24 range, get rid of these puts with profit and use that money to buy more shares and just kind of use it as a tool. But I'm not going to cheer against the stock. I have way too much exposure to be hoping the stock goes down. Let's see. AMD calls. I thought this was interesting too. I'm going to share with you guys a post that I saw from Ruth Capital. I'll be going over that later. But I do think AMD is in a prime position to start making a long-term recovery here. I think this area where it's at now, I think people who are looking for like the double digits, I think they're getting too greedy here. I think this is the zone where AMD kind of bottoms out. Let's see. Palantir went up by 2% today, and it's up by another 2% after hours. It looks like some news from the White House regarding AI, and I think Palantir is going to stand to be a winner in that area. So yeah, Palantir is relatively flat year to date. Dude, this portfolio is beating Palantir now in the 1 year. Excuse me. Yeah, so Palantir was up 327% in the past year, and this portfolio is 424%. So the power of covered calls, cash secured puts, and a little bit of trading here and there. So it's working out so far. Okay. Realized profit and losses for the year. So year to date, the portfolio has $9,300 in returns. So far the Rocket Lab puts that I closed today were a big boost. Yeah, looks like that was bumped it up pretty high. And I think I kind of covered the options. Someone did want me to kind of go over the options a little bit more. Let me know in the comments if you kind of like that format, and I'll go ahead and do that, more next time. Okay, let's see what's going on Twitter. Oh, I had a post go pretty viral on the finance side of Twitter. Knowing I could have retired my entire bloodline with Fartcoin and Trumpcoin. $473,000 views. And I'm not actually feeling FOMO. I just thought it was funny. Yeah, so over the weekend, it looks like there was a Trump coin. And I guess it was official. I just thought it was odd for, I don't think it's right for Trump to release his own coin, but that's just my personal opinion. I like Trump, but I don't think it's right.
In life of your adversaries. How much are you willing?
I got to upload this video as its own because it's so good. But he talks about, who do you fight? Who do you fight with? How much do you value the human life of your citizens?
Are you better at hardware, or are you better? Your country is not producing military-grade software, and no one is likely to build it. How do you deal with that? And the answer to all those questions basically comes down to, can you organize your society in a way that's particular to its strengths and weaknesses, where you highlight the strengths and get rid of the weaknesses in an ontology that allows you to take the generalizable things from the specific, i.e. large language models, code them ethically, i.e. code, and then if you're not America or not, how the fuck do you do that without Palantir? That's a real question for a lot of countries. How do you fight?
Yeah. Like, dude, he
with
just
whom
tells
do
you
you
how
fight?
It is.
How much
like,
do you
how
value?
The fuck do you do that without Palantir? And the answer is you don't. Like, you do it at the best of their ability, but they didn't put in the 20 years of work that Palantir did to understand, like, the way ontology works with data, to give customers like real-time access to their, to make actionable decisions off of their own data. It's just Palantir is like so ahead when it comes to that. So that's why I still have such a heavy position in Palantir. Palantir has ridden up. I've already made quite a bit with Palantir, and this is not just a trade. Like, I'm going to hold on to a lot of these shares for a very, very, very long time. Let's see. There's a year-to-date all-time returns. You guys get that every day. Zoomers on day 2 with no TikTok. Let's see if and my internet connection is somehow. Oh, come on. Well, basically the guy is having withdrawals. You guys kind of get the point there. Let's see, dude. Mike Pat got another Elon reply. He said, it's getting real as fuck when Reddit isn't downvoting something Tesla related. And then Elon Musk replied with the laughing emoji. And of course, the hundreds of people like going after Elon replies.
Don't do it. Don't look at them. Do not look at them. No, do not look at them. Do not look at them. Don't
Tell
do it.
us how you really feel.
You know what? I'll tell you how I really feel. Listen, I really feel like you're an asshole who has nothing interesting to say. Tell them to bring me my money.
Dude, Citibank raised its Rocket Lab price target last night to $35. And man, I don't know if it was all because of Citibank, but man, it was up 20% when I sent this post, and it was already up to Rocket Lab short sellers right now. Here's the taking advantage of the Rocket Lab pump to close out the puts. So these were the puts that I bought, kind of sharing my thought process on here on Twitter. And yeah, I'm saying I hope these puts go to zero. Like, I'm not rooting against the stock. My $120,000 position in this account held back by a $3,000 insurance. Gotta love it. And this is the post from AMD that I was gonna talk to you guys about. So I noticed that even though 5 days ago AMD continued to get downgrade after downgrade, 5 days ago, that was on the 16th. The stock didn't really crash further down. It held up, and it's actually bounced back since. And it reminded me of this post from Ruth. Watch when they hammer bad news on constructive support and base, and the stock holds. This is your buy point. Watch when they hammer good news on resistance, and the stock fails to act. This is your sell point. And I think the 100 to 120 range is a long-term support level for AMD. If you continue to zoom out, you'll see this zone is an area where AMD has been bought a lot in the past. Like, I'm not a huge technical guy, like where I'm like following the chart on a day-to-day or a minute-by-minute basis, but I do like to zoom out and see, like, holy shit, like this is the buy zone. So for me, I'm gonna continue holding these leaps, and I might buy some more. And yeah, I mean, man, it's just wild to see this. to make my yearly salary back in my 20s, when I was making $22, $23 an hour, that was a yearly salary of like 49 grand pre-tax. And to be able to make that in my portfolio in one day, like it does mean a lot to me. And it doesn't, like I'm not going to ignore that, I'm going to continue to be grateful for everything that I've learned and the risks that I've been taking, but it's amazing. And I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for following along. You guys are all awesome. I read all of you guys' comments, and thank you. Thank you all for your support. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.